Good morning. It is June 10th, 2025. It's a Tuesday in Wisconsin, and we are ready for another Taco Tuesday here at WiLS. I am joined today by folks coming to us from four of our esteemed WiLS vendor partners. We're very excited to have them here today to share updates or information or a look at the things that they have to offer WiLS members. So let's kick things right off. We're going to start off with a longtime WiLS vendor partner, BioOne. I've got Chelsea here to talk to us. Chelsea, ready to take the reins and talk to us a little bit?
Yes, I will share my screen.
Right.
Okay. Welcome everyone who is listening. My name is Chelsea Tharp. I'm BioOne's Associate Director of Sales, and I work with all of our North American subscribers here at BioOne. And we are grateful to be a longtime partner of WiLS, so thank you, Jeff, for organizing this. Today I'll just be sharing kind of a brief introduction about BioOne as an organization, and then I'll talk about some of our collections. And our main message today is really about BioOne's upcoming Subscribe to Open pilot. But feel free to chime in with questions at any point. So let's get into it. BioOne is an innovative nonprofit collaborative originally founded by libraries and publishers to address inequities in scholarly publishing. We support over 150 society and nonprofit publishers with 3,500 institutions accessing our content globally. For 25 years, our mission has been to maximize access to scientific research, and as an organization, we believe in a more collaborative, equitable, and sustainable scholarly ecosystem. Until recently, BioOne has maintained a fairly consistent approach with one single collection and one single purchase option. But now, as of the past few years, we're proud to be able to offer 4 different collections under the BioOne Digital Library, representing more than 580 journals and ebooks. So the way our nonprofit model works is that we offer libraries affordable access to scientific research, and then we reinvest those precious library funds back into scholarly publishing each year. And to date, BioOne has returned over $78 million to our small society and nonprofit publishing partners. BioOne Complete has been our flagship collection since BioOne's inception in 1999. The collection grows daily and is now up to 219 journals from 157 independent society publishers in the biological, ecological, and environmental sciences. This includes many exclusive titles and content spanning more than 50 years. 60% of subscribed titles are XML exclusive, and we're happy to report that on a per title basis, BioOne Complete costs 93% less than the commercial average, according to recent library journal surveys. You can also see on this slide a further breakdown of our subject areas. BioOne Complete is a multidisciplinary biology resource, but the aggregation covers the basics of biology while also going more in depth into concentrations such as plant sciences, animal sciences, zoology, agriculture, entomology, ornithology, marine and freshwater biology, and much more. As a mission-based organization, we're also very transparent about where your subscription dollars are going. So if you take a look at this chart on the side here, you can see that over 63% of subscription dollars go directly to the publishers on our platform, many of which rely on revenue share from BioOne in order to maintain operations. And so that was kind of a little bit about the collection itself. And now I'm going to talk about BioOne's upcoming Subscribe to Open pilot, which I'll shorten as S2O. So like many other publishers, BioOne has been exploring how we could deliver on our mission of expanded access, including open access, which is critical to our community, while ensuring the financial sustainability of our publishers. As a multi-publisher aggregator, OA poses a unique challenge for us. Simultaneously, we have the ability to deliver meaningful change at scale. So we spent a careful 18 months investigating pathways to open access with the understanding that as an aggregator, models using APCs would not work for us. This eventually brought us to the conclusion that some form of the subscribe to open model would be the best way to meet the needs of our libraries, publishers, and the wider biosciences community. Overall, we believe that it is essential to future scholarship and discovery that small independent societies be able to sustainably participate in the transition to open, and we're proud to be agents of that shift now. So since initially announcing our plans for a 2026 S2O pilot, we've taken the past year to work with our publishers to educate them about S2O, open access, and also establish who would be willing to participate in the pilot. Titles eligible for the pilot were limited to those exclusively available via the aggregation, and we're happy to now be able to share that the final pilot collection will comprise 71 titles from 54 global societies. And then throughout 2025, our focus is in communicating the importance of this mission-based initiative to our libraries and consortia partners ahead of the formal January 1st, 2026 launch. We're also proud to report that this represents the largest number of independent publishers under a single S2O offer to date. Also, according to the list maintained by the S2O Community of Practice, among the pilot cohort are the first S2O titles published in Japan, Brazil, China, and Kenya. And also, we're happy to say that on the library side, we have already made some long multi-year agreements with some of our consortia. And again, WiLS is one of those that's been very supportive along the way. So we're happy to have them. So how will it work? BioOne Complete will continue to be a mixed model collection of subscribed S2O and Gold OA titles. This will be a 3-year pilot with no movement amongst the participating S2O titles, and the model relies on existing subscribers paying sustainable fees in order to succeed. So for libraries, the pilot will be business as usual. To participate, simply renew your subscription to BioOne Complete. We also welcome everyone to join in, of course, including former subscribers as well as those that may have never subscribed before. The way it works is if we meet our financial threshold for that upcoming year, then the content included in the S2O portion of the pilot will be published open access for that year. And that doesn't apply to the back file for those S2O titles. Alternatively, if the threshold is not met for the year, then current year issues will remain behind a paywall for those 71 titles. Our pricing throughout the pilot will not differ from recent years, since S2O is based on sustaining the current subscriber and subscription levels. So we will commit to no higher than our standard 3% annual increases, even despite larger inflationary impacts. And this chart kind of shows our exclusive benefits for subscribers. So benefits include access to current year content for all subscribed titles, which kind of I'll explain more about. And benefits also include backfile access to everything, which is the equivalent of 185,000 articles. And this also, the other main private benefit, which is one to subscribing right now, is that perpetual access to the current year content. So if you take a look at the diagram of the diagram represents all 219 titles in the aggregation. And so we'll maintain 35 gold OA, which is represented in the bright orange. The 71 S2O titles are represented in the pale green section. And then the 113 subscribed titles exclusively depositing current content for subscribers is represented in dark green. So by renewing, you still have access to over 100 subscribed titles and the full back file and perpetual access. And also our back file is a large private benefit because 68% of BioOne Complete usage is to content that's over 5 years old. So essentially we're meeting our mission, and there's not a lot of big changes for existing subscribers, but more content will be open and benefit the greater good. And I know I'm almost out of time, but I just thought I would throw in one last slide to talking about some of our new one-time purchase options. I think I mentioned that for a long time we just had BioOne Complete available, but recently we've made a one-time purchase option for the BioOne Complete archive, which can be prorated to fill in any gaps in anyone's back file or perpetual access. And then we also recently launched 2 separate ebook collections, one with our existing partner ESA, the Entomological Society of America, and that one was a preservation project in which we took all of the books they've ever published and digitized them for the first time. So that's a good collection. And then we also this year just launched the CSIRO Publishing BioSelect collection, which has content comparable to that of the main BioOne Complete aggregation. And so here I'll just put my contact details. Feel free to reach out, anyone. And are there any questions that have come in?
No, Chelsea, I haven't seen any questions come in, but as always, I'll say, if we do get questions from members who watch the video, we'll of course let you know, get in touch with you.
Okay, perfect. I will stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Chelsea, for sharing that with us. I'm very excited to see how the S2O project proceeds, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it as it goes along.
Awesome. Thank you.
Right. Let me share my screen one more time to get us set up for our next presentation. Joining us next, coming to us from Bridgeman, who he's been with us before. I'm very excited to have him back. Tom Haggerty coming to us from Bridgeman Education. Tom, are you ready to take over? Oh, I think you're muted.
Hi there, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I am good, thank you. Yeah, I am just awaiting permission to share my screen. So as soon as I have that, I can. Oh, I think you just granted it.
There we
So, yeah, okay. Oops. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. Yep, you're good. All right, awesome. And everyone can hear me. Well, yeah, thanks again, Jeff and Wills, and everyone who's joining us today or just checking out the recording. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate Jeff and Will's support in organizing this as always. It's nice to be here. My name is Tom. I'm from Bridgeman Education. We've been a partner with Will's for quite some time now. So, as always, thankful for the opportunity. So, to kick off, Bridgeman Education is one of the world's leading image databases available to libraries and library users for use in any and all kinds of projects, really. I appreciate that most, if not all, librarians are able to read very well, but I do like to read out this quote to kick off, which is from our friends at Library Journal, which states Bridgeman Education is breathtaking, a beautifully rendered product at a sensible price. Obviously, a labor of love and enormous creativity, the high quality and extensive content is made easily accessible through quick search and browsing in a wealth of categories and subcategories, unreservedly recommended for anyone needing images. And that is essentially where we come in that we are a mass of images, and how have we got all of those images? And currently Bridgman Education has currently over 4 million images available to users. And we are not a stagnant archive. We are constantly signing up new collections, be they a leading museum, an auction house, maybe, could be a gallery, could be a photography archive, could be a contemporary artist, you name it. We are constantly snowballing by signing up new partners and also by acquiring new content, new images from our existing partners. So, for instance, we partner with the British Library, MFA Boston, etc. You know, every time they've recently shot an artifact, maybe it's an illuminated manuscript, we'll get on to some examples of the types of content shortly, but we are constantly acquiring and adding new content to Bridgman Education, so it's a wonderful resource for new and existing subscribers in that it is constantly growing. Just to give you a sense here of the types of libraries who subscribe currently to Bridgman Education. As you can see, there's a lot of leading academic institutions here in the US, but also we're proud to partner and support libraries worldwide. And it's not just major academic libraries. I mean, I will stress there are libraries of all shapes and sizes that subscribe and find use out of the Bridgman Education Image Database. So could be a small public or private library, and we are proud to be used and support all kinds of library users. You know, we have professors using our images in presentations and classrooms. But then we also have students of all age groups and needs and academic ability utilizing this website for their research. So as I mentioned, you know, the website is constantly being updated, but the beauty of Bridgman Education is that it enables you to save, download, and share, and even print out images for use in classroom projects, for your own personal research, etc. So it's a wonderful tool for students and educators worldwide. We'll go into a bit of the usability later. Um, but I do just want to quickly do a quick dive into some of the content that we do have available via or on the Bridgman Education platform. So you know, it really is geared up for educational use, and therefore we work very hard to ensure that these millions of images are relatable to the current curriculum, certainly here in the US, and also that it jives with curriculums elsewhere in the world as well. So you can see we have a very broad range of subject matter, and we're just going to quickly, in the 15 minutes we have here, just whiz through and show you the depth and breadth of the collection and the sort of stuff that is available. So as you can see here, we have an example of contemporary art, excuse me, but we also have photography of ethnographic artifacts, current day photography on site, etc. And it really does run the gamut in terms of subject matter, as you can see here. Lots of vintage archival stuff, but also stuff that was shot and submitted within the last couple of months. So it really is a truly wonderful range of stuff. It is not just merely art focused. As you can see, we do have scientific areas, but the arts is very much a strong region for us as well. History in particular is one of our strong points within the archive. We represent a lot of not only world-class museums, but also key historical societies, both here in the US and elsewhere in the world, such as the New York Historical Society, Massachusetts Historical Society, Vermont, etc. Literature, again, is a very key part of the archive, and you can see some examples of the works available here. Likewise, music. I mean, again, the arts is such a strong part for us. And I mentioned science earlier. We have an awful lot of physics and space-related material. We'll dive into that in some of the examples and usability I'll showcase shortly. And of course, religion, we try and be as inclusive as possible. We are an archive, or very much a global growing archive. And so we have images and artifacts depicting all creeds and religions worldwide. Um, and again, we mentioned arts, performing arts in particular, we're very, very strong with here. So just very quickly, just to give you a sense of bridgmaneducation.com and show you some of the functionality here. I mentioned earlier, you do have the ability to download and use images from Bridgman Education for use in your classroom, classes, projects, research, or just whatever use a regular library user may have. And once you log in as a subscriber, you can simply hit the download arrow, as you've seen there from a search of some of our space-related scientific materials on the site. And it just downloads to your desktop right there. You also have the ability to create and curate slideshows. So again, that's a very helpful tool if you're a student doing a classroom project. Maybe you're just browsing and you wish to collate some of the great material you've seen on Bridgman Education. You can do a search. So this search example here on the Battle of Midway, you can easily curate or create and curate slideshows of any images that take your fancy here. So you can easily add images to existing slideshows, of course, and you saw in that drop down there, you are able to save and archive your slideshows. And it's really simple to just add images to a slideshow. You simply hit the plus sign there and you can add images away. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we do have all kinds of library users of all ages utilizing this platform and from all sort of academic backgrounds and along different parts of their academic journey, essentially. So we've worked really hard to make this as usable and as user-friendly an experience as possible. So it's really quite straightforward. As I say, you just hit the plus sign. You also have the option to drag images into the gray box there should you wish to add anything to a slideshow. You can also download a slideshow and you can also view and play a slideshow, as we'll see here shortly. So again, the beauty of that from a classroom perspective, you can easily pull up a slideshow if you're doing a classroom presentation as a student and or a lecturer. You can also share any slideshows you create with anyone. They don't necessarily have to be a Bridgman Education subscriber. You can just simply add their email address and it will ping them a copy of the slideshow. As I say, you can also download them and share them should you wish. And then to simply play them, you hit that lighter green button there and it will load it up there full size on the screen, as you can see. And yeah, you can provide your little presentation based on the images in your slideshow to a classroom, or again, as I say, you can share them with external parties should you so wish to. And then moving on, one further tool, which is pretty neat, just to quickly go over. You also have the ability, should you so wish, to crop images that you see on bridgmaneducation.com. So maybe you want to zoom in on a particular detail of an image. So this example here, one of our science-based ones, just to show you real quick in real time how you do that. Pull up any image that takes your fancy that you wish to crop. Just make sure you just tag it with whatever information you wish to, however you wish to name it. And again, it's super intuitive, super straightforward. You can just crop in there. So just removing some of that background dark area, and then just hit save, and it is going to show up right there as saved. And you can download that again as a cropped version and share that should you wish to do so. There are some further examples we can showcase to you. So again, here, if you wish to zoom in on this UFO style object here on this image, again, you can do that no problem and save it and download it should you wish to do so. We do also really quick have a zoom tool. Again, very useful if you're looking at a particularly intricate image, really interested in a certain detail and want to explore that a bit further. You simply click on the eye icon here, and again, straightforward. We're all used to these icons in our day-to-day tech use. So you just click on that magnifying plus sign or the minus to zoom in and zoom out. And here you have beautiful image of Jesus and the disciples. So maybe you want to look in on the text, maybe you want to zoom in on a particular disciple. As you can see here, you have that functionality and ability with Bridgeman Education. So that was it. I don't have much time allotted to me, but you are always welcome to get in touch with me via WiLS. My information is here on the screen. If you would like to book an in-depth demo, happy to do that. If you would like to be set up with free trial access for a short period of time, more than happy to provide that to any interested members. And yeah, thank you so much again to Jeff and WiLS for organizing it. And thanks to everyone for listening and taking the time.
Thank you, Tom. I am very pleased to have you back. I love seeing just the incredible depth and breadth of images available in the resource. I think you're right. It can be easy to, I don't know, categorize an image database as a particular thing in a niche, a very niche use case, but that just is not the case here. We've got
Yeah, we're
cases
trying to be as
all through
all-encompassing as possible and to make it as useful as possible and as inclusive as possible, frankly. So yeah,
Yeah, I think it's harder
appreciate it.
to imagine a subject that isn't supported by something in the
Well, hey,
opposite, right?
let's not jinx it, but yeah, we're trying our best. Yeah, trying our best for sure. Yeah, but and that's why it's so great that we are growing constantly and adding more stuff and filling in gaps wherever we do find them. So yeah,
Fantastic. Well, thanks
thank
again
you.
for joining us today, Tom.
Cheers. Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen another time here to get us ready for our next presenter coming to us for another Taco Tuesday. We've got two of our longtime friends coming to us from HeinOnline, Tim and Steve.
How you doing, Jeff?
I'm very well, very well.
Hi,
Happy
Jeff.
again. Hi, Steve. So are you gentlemen ready to take us into HeinOnline?
Yes,
Sure
we
are.
are.
All right, sharing is yours. Go right ahead.
All right, 1 second. Get that going. Sorry.
No
Jeff,
problem.
is this our fourth or maybe even fifth Taco Tuesday with you?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. That's not a fair question to ask me live, Steve.
I didn't want to put you on the spot. I just wanted to show how dedicated you are and we are in working with you. So thank you.
The pleasure's all ours. All right, let's turn it over to you here.
So yes, so obviously we are here from HeinOnline. My name is Steve. I'm here with my colleague / boss, Tim Hoagie, and we want to talk to you a little bit about how HeinOnline offers smarter and better and faster research. We've been working with WiLS for a number of years. We have many academic institutions that subscribe to HeinOnline in the Wisconsin area. We're going to talk about HeinOnline and HeinOnline's academic, which is sort of our premier collection or package in the academic space. We're going to also talk about some award-winning databases and some things that were just launched, and also a little bit about the AI. Tim's going to talk about that. That's coming our way, and scholarly impact ranking. So there's a lot to talk about, a lot of like new innovations, and we're very excited to be here with you. So we shall switch. Oh, I should tell you that it is our 25th year anniversary, not of the Hein company itself, because we've been a print and fiche publisher for many, many years. But HeinOnline was invented in the year 2000, just started as a small database with a couple of journals. Now we have well into 3,400 journals and over 20,000 monographs and treatises. So it's quite exciting. HeinOnline allows you to explore those 3,400 scholarly journals across 1,500 research topics. Yes, we started in law and the social sciences, but we want you to know that we are truly multidisciplinary. And that means you can find things tangentially related to law, even the sciences or religion or political science, of course, or even women's rights or international trade. All of those kinds of subjects are in HeinOnline. You benefit with HeinOnline in the image-based format. Yes, you have access to PDFs, and we organize them for you through machine learning so you can find all the articles and documents you're looking for. But at the same time, everything on HeinOnline is fully searchable. And everything is integrated in that you can use blue hypertext links to go from an image to another image, to a document, from a journal to a statute, let's say, or to a case. Everything is integrated in that way. And you have true to print historical documents alongside modern publications. We keep a lot of the historical content. Our journals go all the way back to issue number 1. Why do we do that? Because we want you to have access to the historical material as well as the current material. And many academic institutions use us to replace existing research platforms with HeinOnline Academic. Not only is it easier to use and have better content in many ways, but it's also a fraction of the cost, which is quite a combination of traits. We recently, or in the last few years, we started organizing our topics into Pathfinder. You can see here, there's a nice graphical representation, and it allows you to take all the disciplines and instantly go into the discipline you're looking for on HeinOnline, whether it be any subject, whether it be religion, whether it be the sciences, whether it be education, etc. Now, that organizes into 1,500 subtopics. Now, we do want you to know that with WiLS, we are giving you special consortia discounts, which makes HeinOnline already inexpensive, makes it even more appealing to the members of your consortium. So the first year subscription discount for WiLS members is a 50% discount for HeinOnline Academic. And going forward, you get a 5% perpetual renewal discount. In addition, there's if it goes up to 11 to 20 subscribers, then it goes up to 10% perpetual renewal discount, and that even goes up higher as consortium members increase to 15%. So not only do you get that first year 50%, but that renewal discount keeps going up. Just notice where we are. I believe, where are we, Tim? Are we in 10% territory?
Yes.
Yes. So we're already at 10%. And then we get up further past 20, we'll get up to the 15% rate. So you can see we've already been making inroads into the perpetual renewal discount. So as we will continue, we have many new and upcoming databases. So this U.S. state commitments, everyone knows that U.S. Treaties with other countries are very important. The agreements that the United States has with other governments, but many of you probably didn't notice that there are state agreements with other countries. So for example, Wisconsin has agreements with Canada and China by itself. Well, this has never been all collected in one place. And so someone from Marquette University, a distinguished professor, put this together, Ryan Scoville, and it allowed us to have unprecedented access to 750 plus unpublished agreements between U.S. states and foreign government, 650 FOIA information requests to every major U.S. state agency, and it serves as an innovative subnational analog to official U.S. treaty compilations like UST and TIAS. So you can look at the country to country, and then you can look at the state to country relationships. Okay, let's continue with this. By the way, was that one of our award winners, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
best new
won our
product award.
2025 New Product Award, as you can see over there. But that's not the only Hein publication that recently won an award. Let's continue to another one, the Complete Periodical Literature of Law Librarianship. This was put together by two law librarians. It's been a labor of love. It's a father and daughter. It's been 20 years in the making. It's the first fully searchable annotated bibliography of more than 5,000 articles focused on law librarianship in the US and Canada. Even general academic institutions that dabble in law librarianship will have shown interest and would benefit from this. Of course, any of the law schools in Wisconsin have shown interest in this. And the editors read every article and crafted an annotation for each. This allows you to quickly find the key articles on law librarianship that you need in terms of landmark articles, historical, and continuing value. We organize the subject headings and by library type. So this is a very useful publication and very, very inexpensive. So that won the Joseph Andrews Award. So we keep winning awards for our publications. Now, this OAS material that's coming soon, OAS, as you know, is the Organization of American States. We put together in collaboration with the OAS itself and Columbus Memorial Library to create a classification manual for the OAS official record series. It explores records from 34 independent countries and that are part of the Americas, mostly in Latin America. And it supports research in international relations in terms of inter-American studies, Pan-American studies, and intergovernmental affairs. It's curated bibliography, is compatible with WorldCat. It's linked to WorldCat, in fact, and it has relevant scholarly articles through WorldCat, and it's enhanced with expert metadata, series title, series letter, and OAS, that's Organization of American States, classification. It's the first ever time this access has, we've had access to the core OAS publications. Many foreign and comparative librarians have been asking for years for us to have this kind of OAS material. So we are very excited about this offering, and it's coming soon. So just be on the lookout for that. And we will continue to the next slide where Tim Hogan will take over.
Thanks, Steve. So we want to talk about some new features, some accessibility work that we've been doing within HeinOnline, and how we're working to expand the search functionality and the ways you can do research in HeinOnline. So this is relevant to both those that don't yet subscribe to HeinOnline and to our current subscribers as well. First of all, we have put a very strong prioritization on increasing and expanding the accessibility across the entire HeinOnline database. If you are a current subscriber, you may see that over maybe the past month, we have had a new welcome screen in the database. This has really kind of been the biggest change that we have seen in the database. And we did it because we worked to expand and upgrade the accessibility. We are currently WCAG 2.0 AA compliant, and we have a goal to be WCAG 2.2 AA compliant by, I believe it's April of 2026. At that point, 2.1 AA compliance will be required or will be the standard, but we are working to supersede that and go to another level of accessibility compliance, just to make sure that, you know, we are covering all our bases and everyone that needs to use HeinOnline can use it. Nothing has changed with our URLs. They're all, you know, set links, so you can continue to link to anything within HeinOnline without having to worry about it being dynamic, and all of the existing functionality still is there. You don't need to worry about that. Some of the other accessibility upgrades that we've done, we've made more readable fonts. We've improved the contrast in a lot of the graphics that have existed in the database up until this point. And we have created a more keyboard-friendly navigation. In addition, we have a little bit smoother navigation features. Some welcome page enhancements, which include you can sort, you can see here in terms of this image, you can select specific subjects that we're covering, different database types that you want to see within your welcome screen, and even our vendor partners that we work with. You can look and say, I want to see material that Hein has from West or from Kluwer or from Brill, just to name a few. We have updated some of our buttons. So previously, some of our buttons were text-based, particularly in our image viewing screen, where when you're looking at the content of the material that we have in HeinOnline, those buttons have gone to icons. And we have done the same thing with our advanced search buttons. We've modified the labels to make them a little bit clearer and work more friendly with accessibility. AI. I'm surprised I haven't heard AI talked about too much yet today, but we are doing some work on AI, and I'm going to try and do this quickly. We are adding AI to HeinOnline in a very cautious, secure, and safe manner, private manner. All the AI that we are adding to HeinOnline is being worked on in-house. There are no third parties involved, no external vendors or APIs. All of the hardware that it will be running on will be in-house, just about 50 feet to my left. And we have our own in-house employees that are working on developing that product. You will see smart summarizations, which we'll talk about in just a moment, a little bit deeper, coming in summer of 2025. So in just a couple months, we will have article summarizations rolling out. It's in testing phase right now. And then after that, our eyes or our focus will be set on expanding the search functionality that we offer and adapting AI into that. So the summarizations that I just mentioned a moment ago, you will see right now, if you're familiar with the way that HeinOnline searching works, when you do a full text search, you're presented with some results that show matching text pages below each result that show where the text that you search for is found on a page within those results. We're adding a tab next to that will be a summary tab. And clicking on that will show you what the article summarization is. So you can do a quick read and see what the article is all about. Just as an aside, the way that we are testing this is by providing different article summarizations to actual article authors, and they can read how these various summarizations kind of summarize the articles that they wrote, and they are giving us feedback in terms of which different AI models are producing the most accurate and best summaries for the articles that they wrote. So we figure the authors are going to have the best idea of what if the summary is accurate to what they wrote. So we're going right to the source. Here and then, as I mentioned, you can click over and see where how we have it now, the matching text that you search for within the results that you see. In addition, we will have outside of the search results themselves, we will have AI summarizations available on the image or the article viewing screen within HeinOnline. You can see there'll be a link that you can view an AI summary. You can copy that to a clipboard, and you can also submit feedback, which will be very important for us to know if the summaries aren't up to snuff, aren't producing what you want, or if you think that they're fantastic. We want to know that too. Click that feedback button and let us know how it's working for you. So that's about it in terms of updates. We do want to point out we are always here to assist, whether it's with live chat, our knowledge base, our YouTube videos, which are expanding and always available. We're always expanding our LibGuides, and of course the HeinOnline blog, which if you haven't checked out the HeinOnline blog, we definitely suggest you take a look at that. There's always new cool historical content that we link to and we relate to the current events that are going on in the world today. So please take a look at that as well. Finally, thanks for your time. Thanks for checking this out, whether you're live or whether you're watching the recording. I'm Tim Hoagie, and I'm joined by Steve Roses. So thank you so much. And back to you, Jeff.
Tim, Steve, thanks so much for coming again to Taco Tuesday. Congratulations on the 25-year anniversary of HeinOnline. I'll be brief. A quick message to WiLS members. look at HeinOnline. They've got so much to offer. Just in the time that they've been WiLS vendor partners, they've grown leaps and bounds in the offerings there. And to reiterate something Steve said earlier, the more WiLS members participate, the better the deal for everyone. It's
Absolutely.
already a great bargain for you, but the bargain gets better for all WiLS members the more of you take a look at it. So to take that time, reach out. Steve can help you get a look at it, a trial access, or whatever you need to know, more information so that you can make the right choice for your institution. All right. So thanks again, Tim and
Thank
Steve.
you. Thanks, Jeff.
Next up, I gotta do it. I gotta put it up on my screen just to make sure that we've got a good starting point for our last presenter here. Presenters really coming back to us from LibraryPass, talk to us about Comics Plus. We've got Alex and Beth. I think really Alex is probably doing the presentation, but Beth always comes along too. So I'm pleased to have you both back here. And without any further ado, please take the reins and talk to us about Comics Plus.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We are very excited to be back for our, I believe this is our encore presentation with WiLS Taco Tuesday. I've got a slide deck up here. Beth, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see that?
Absolutely. Looks great.
Perfect. So as Jeff mentioned, Beth and I are here with LibraryPass. Our platform, Comics Plus, is a collection of over 23,000 comic books, graphic novels, manga, and picture books. Our access model is an unlimited simultaneous access model. So what that means is that your patrons will never have any wait lists, no holds, no limits on the number of a copy of a specific book. And our pricing model is just a flat annual fee. So for you, that means no surprises in your budgets, no penalties for having extra popular titles on our platform, and some much needed stability when it comes to your budget planning and itemizing the different lines there. As Jeff rightly pointed out, I will be doing a quick tour of our platform, but Beth, I wanted to let you introduce yourself really quickly. If you haven't already seen Beth in your inbox, I imagine you will very shortly.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Beth Hallis, and I would love to talk to you about your library, whether it's a school library or a public library. Please contact and we'll talk about Comics Plus for your patrons.
Awesome. Thank you, Beth. So this QR code that I have up on the screen, it goes to the full collection demo site for Comics Plus. You will find everything that our collection has to offer for emerging readers all the way through adult readers on that platform. I wanted to include that for those of you who are like me, active listeners, to follow along. Today, I'm going to contextualize our access model and our collection with some different public library programming. So I cannot resist a themes or an alliteration. I'm so sorry in advance, but we're going to talk about how Comics Plus can help you create sensational story times, uncomplicated community reads, and bountiful book clubs. Luckily, my children aren't old enough to be embarrassed by me yet, but I'm sort of teetering on the edge there. I think I've got a limited amount of time. So the last slide that I'm going to show you before I hop directly into the environment is this sort of leave behind slide. It's got a link to some helpful resources on our site that might help aid in your evaluation, including a link directly to schedule time on Beth's calendar. I told you we're going to look at the full collection demo today, but we do have a number of ways that we can work with libraries to direct your patrons to age-appropriate content. If you want more details on that, Beth would love to chat with you about how that works, and she'd love to chat with you about your custom discounted quote as a WiLS member library. And with that, I'm going to hop out of here. And as promised, I'm going to get started talking about some common library programming that our library partners have used Comics Plus for. So Comics Plus, this is our landing page. We always have a number of different rolling, we call these shelves, basically with different, curated lists of things for holidays, current events, common library programming. And this top one will always be a selection of recent additions because we add new content to the collection every single month, sometimes even more frequently than that. So you're always growing to accommodate the voracious comic readers in your communities. Specifically, I want to talk about one of my favorite examples of how libraries have used us, which is story time. I personally have a 3-year-old, and we recently took him to our library branch's story time where they read this very charming book about opposites called Cat and Dog. The thing about using one of our picture books is that the image quality that we get from our publishing partners is extremely high resolution. So you can see I am zooming in pretty far, no pixelization, the integrity of the image is still beautiful. And this has allowed people to start incorporating these titles into story time, either using like a projector or a large monitor screen. We know that a lot of these story times are targeted at your emerging and new readers. So the visuals and the illustrations are a key part of them connecting with that. This is a very cute book about opposites. Much like my children, this cat is awake, and much like I would like to be, this dog is asleep. It's great because when we came home from story time, when we read this dog and cat book, our 3-year-old was demanding at bedtime to read the dog and cat book. And I'm, panicked going through our shelves looking for the dog and cat book, and everything is no, and he's getting increasingly frustrated with me. And it dawned on me that he wanted to read the book from story time, and that posed some logistical challenges for me. As you can imagine, we didn't have the book, there were limited copies, so we probably couldn't have even checked it out after story time if we had wanted to. But when a library uses a digital copy, not only are you making the image larger for your audience, you're also able to pop a QR code directly to this title and say, hey, take this home with you. We know your readers like to read the same books over and over again. It's a huge part of how they develop those early literacy building blocks. And it's a great way to bring the library home with you and help boost the library circulation. Everybody wins. So Storytime is one way that Comics Plus can really, really help benefit your patrons. Another thing that I like to talk about in terms of that younger readership is, summer reading guides. So I've actually popped over here into the catalog for Nashville Public Library, and I'm going to search Big Nate Makes the Grade. So we play really nicely with other digital comics providers. We directly integrate into your catalog and discovery tools so that it's easy for folks to find the content that they need. This Nashville Public Library, they get digital comics through Hoopla, Overdrive, as well as Comic Plus. And so I just kind of wanted to pull up really quickly here what it looks like when you are reloading a page and hoping for the best here. There we go. So as you can see, this Libby copy is checked out. If Big Nate Makes the Grade is on your local school district summer reading guide and you have 15 students coming to the library to check it out, you may only have a couple of physical copies. Those are going to be spoken for pretty quickly. You may only have a couple of digital copies. Once those are all spoken for, what are those students going to do? With Comics Plus, this is always going to show as available online. So it really helps facilitate some of those larger reaching programming that you're looking to support in your communities. Which brings me to our uncomplicated citywide reads. So our partner, San Diego Public Library, they actually came on Comics Plus specifically to accommodate their citywide read of George Takei's They Called Us Enemy. I'll pull it up here so that you have a visual. They thought that this story really resonated with their neighbors and with their citizens, and they thought that it was going to be a great addition to their citywide read program. As librarians, I think you can probably imagine how difficult locating the number of copies you would need of a book to facilitate a citywide read for your communities. Looking at physical copies, looking at digital copies, it was going to cost a lot of money. And what do you do with them once the event is over? So they actually subscribed to us just because of our unlimited simultaneous access model. Whether 100 people in the community participated or 1,000, it didn't change who was able to access that within the span of time that they were allowing to read the book. And it also didn't change the library's cost. So they saw it as a really cost-effective way. A subscription to our entire portfolio of 24,000 plus titles was more cost effective than trying to accommodate this program in any other way, and significantly savings them some money. So I always like to point that out because it's a really cool way that they've used us to build community and share stories that speak to their folks. Really quickly, we have this one-page view here. You saw our two-page view in the picture book, but this is going to show you the full scope of the artwork, which emulates your physical comic experience. And then we have a tri-panel viewer. So this is going to segment the page into 3 different rows so that you can isolate your images if that's your preferred reading experience. So we know that when folks are reading comic books, they have really strong opinions. The readership is loyal doesn't even really cover it. They love this medium, and so they want to be able to read it in their preferred way. And those are the 3 that we have sort of come up with to answer those preferences. The last thing that I wanted to speak to, actually in our very robust resource center. So we are fortunate enough to work with some brilliant librarians here at LibraryPass, and they've developed an awesome library of resources to help get you up and running with LibraryPass, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've got marketing materials, we've got professional development, programming packages. I'm going to hop into these programming resources here to show you our very new, very awesome book club resource guide. So one of our colleagues, Joe, he worked with Escondido Public Library to help them boost circulation of their specifically digital resources to their adult patrons. It was one of their library goals for the year, and they knew that Comics Plus had some great content that would really speak to that audience. And so Joe worked with them to set up a comic book club for adults. Because of our access model, book clubs are really, really well supported and easy to accommodate because the number of copies is unlimited on this platform. Because it was so successful, I think the first month they had 2 or 3 participants. By month 6, their full 35 participant threshold had been met, and they had to open up a second session and meeting time because they had too many people in the room. So a rounding success. We love hearing from our libraries about how Comics Plus works for them and how it can work for other libraries. We really love to partner with you that way. And this book club resource guide is kind of the perfect example of that. So in this guide, you will find resources on hosting, so how to prepare for a book club, how to promote it, how to participate in it. There are readers guides, there are title recommendations. So really everything start to finish. If you wanted to start a book club and all the way through to execution, what titles are you reading next? This book club resource has that to offer. So we're very invested in making sure that if you choose to move forward with Comics Plus, that you're seeing that return on investment as quickly as possible, and that you are helping your patrons read all the comics, because I guess you can't really see, but my shirt does say read all the comics on it. That is what we're all about here at LibraryPass. And one more time, I will pull up this last page so that if you need to screenshot it, that is Beth's contact information. She'd love to talk to you about our age guidelines, your custom discount price quote as a WiLS member, any other questions that you may have about our content or about, setting up demo access, anything like that. And with 2 minutes to spare, I will send it back to you, Jeff.
Oh, amazing, Alex. Fantastic overview of really a great resource that we're so excited to be partnered with. I hope I didn't make you feel like you had to rush, but I think
Oh, no.
great job. Okay, awesome.
Listen, we're last in the lineup. People are ready to get to their lunch or the next thing. I get it. I get it.
No, I mean, yes, of course, people want to get to lunch, but Comics Plus is worth sticking around an extra minute or 2 for. Absolutely. So thank you again to Alex and Beth for joining us to talk to us about Comics Plus, which I think, like so many of the other things we've talked about today, in fact, maybe everything we've talked about today, Comics Plus is another resource that has applications all over the school, all over the public library. You should be thinking about ways that you can leverage this kind of resource to further the educational mission that you're supporting in your library. Since I'm pontificating a little bit, we're right here at the end, but let me share my screen again, and I will say that WiLS is thrilled to have such a varied and really excellent slate of vendor partners to bring best-in-class resources to our members at prices that you can afford. You should be looking at BioOne. You should be looking at Bridgeman. You should be looking at Hein. You should be looking at Comics Plus. These are really great resources that have the potential to really broaden the reach of the library, whether you're a school library in a K-12 environment, whether you're serving a tiny district or a large district, whether you're a public library serving a small community or a large community, whether you're an academic library at one of the UWs or a private college or a technical college, there's something here for you. So I hope that that this and all of our Taco Tuesday presentations has given you the opportunity to think about how some of these resources that may not be top of mind every time you're looking at your portfolio could really enhance what you're able to do for the students, the faculty, the staff, the patrons, the public that you serve. So anyway, that's a little bit of a, like I said, a little bit pontification, but I really genuinely believe that the kinds of things that WiLS has, the kinds of groups and partners that WiLS has cultivated have a lot to offer our members. Thank you so much to all of our presenters, all of our vendors for coming out today for another great Taco Tuesday. Thank you, the WiLS members, for watching this presentation and joining us for another round of Taco Tuesdays. Speaking of another round, we have one more Taco Tuesday left in this kind of grouping. We tend to book our Taco Tuesday sessions in half-year blocks. So we will be doing one more on June 24th. Please join us for that to get a look at another set of great vendor partners and the resources that they have to offer. And keep your eyes peeled for announcements about our next round of Taco Tuesdays, which will start in early July. We're just now kind of getting our vendor partner presenters lined up for that. So we'll be announcing dates and presentations soon. Thanks again for joining us. I hope that you have a great afternoon, and we'll see you all again real soon. Bye.